Going on Jerome's Raw Real Garage Rant, should be presented by Home Depot. But so quarterback competition is heating up between JJ McCarthy and Slinging Sam Darnold. Now, a lot of people, myself included, didn't think that this was going to be much of a competition, especially seeing how things shook out at OTAs. Sam Darnold was looking really damn good, but the knock on Sam Darnold, lots of people have talked about this, is like, hey, he looks really good when the pressure is not on, pun intended. So in practice, talk about practice. Back in May and June, it's easy to look good because there's no games, there's no competition. He was in there with the ones. He had Justin friggin' Jefferson, Jordan Addison at mandatory minicamp, and everything was looking good, man. Like, there was no challenge to his authority. And rookie upstart JJ McCarthy, number 10 overall pick, highest drafted quarterback in team history. No muss, no fuss. He was distant on the third team. Nick Mullins was QB2. But then get to training camp, and even though Kevin O'Connell had said that Sam Darnold would start training camp as quarterback one, the language is important. He did not say that Sam Darnold will be quarterback one. He said that Sam Darnold will start as quarterback one for training camp, right? And all of a sudden, JJ McCarthy started training camp. He's working with the twos. Nick Mullins is a distant third. Basically, it's come down to Darnold and JJ McCarthy. Darnold still with the ones, and McCarthy with the twos. And Kevin O'Connell has said that eventually McCarthy will get some reps with the first team offense. But what has been happening is O'Connell's opened the door. Let my love open the door to your heart. And every single day, he's putting a little bit more on JJ McCarthy's plate. Just a little bit more, right? And right now, through 7 practices, 2 padded, McCarthy is operating with the second team offense exclusively, and he's generally going up against the first team defense. Brian Flores' unit bringing some heat, bringing some stank, bringing a lot. They're throwing the kitchen sink at the rookie quarterback. Flores is not pulling any punches. And guess what? McCarthy, he's holding his own. Yes, he certainly has made mistakes, and he will do that. But his highs are pretty damn high. I mean, his lows are sort of whatever, and he certainly can learn from them. And Sam Darnold, on the other hand, who's been exclusively with the ones and generally playing against the second team defense, sometimes the first team, is sort of been up and down. Like, he's had the highlight reel, making the Vikings minute-long hype videos on Instagram every single day. He's had the deep shots to Jefferson and Addison and Naylor, but he's also had some low lows. He's also had a couple bad interceptions. And overall, like, body language-wise, like, you could tell, like, he's feeling the pressure. And as we said, like, there's no pressure in OTAs. There's lots of pressure in training camp, especially when the franchise has a top 10 drafted quarterback. He is everyone's All-American. The future is extremely bright. The fans want to see him. And, he's playing very damn good with the twos against the first team Brian Flores defense. So all of that is adding up. I don't think that Sam Darnold's going to be holding off JJ McCarthy. Now, I am of the mind of, yes, I fully understand that if there was a redshirt plan in place, McCarthy learning the full NFL playbook, breaking down some of his mechanics, building him back up, just learning how to be a pro's pro. The kid's only 21. There's plenty of time for him to take the helm eventually, right? Patrick Mahomes sat for a year. Jordan Love sat for a couple years. Aaron Rodgers sat for a couple years. There's a myriad of quarterbacks who had success in this league who have sat for a couple of seasons. Steve Young, probably the grand poobah. Steve Young didn't even start till he was like 30. Isn't that insane? Crazy, man. But with McCarthy, at a certain point, so O'Connell's talked about every single day having these checklists and benchmarks or whatever, and every single practice, he seems to do better. He seems to just do a little bit better. Like, those throws outside the numbers are on point. The timing is great. In and out of the huddle, no muss, no fuss. And he doesn't look like a deer in headlights. Basically, he's taken a look at this very complicated and sophisticated Brian Flores scheme that's going to bring exotic heat on the quarterback, and he's just smiling at it. And he's evading pressure. He's finding his checkdowns. This is what stands out, too. So a lot of times in 11 on 11, McCarthy's changing the play. And would you think that Kevin O'Connell would just give that to any rookie, the ability to change a play at the line of scrimmage based on what McCarthy sees? And it does certainly help that McCarthy is coming from a pro-style system under Jim Harbaugh. A lot of play action, a lot of boot action, a lot of adjustments at the line of scrimmage. So, not saying that it's a perfect fit, but it's probably the best spot for McCarthy to land in, because not only do you have Kevin O'Connell in place, you got Josh McCown, who's fantastic as a QB coach, and of course all the weapons with Jefferson, Addison, Hockenson, we gets back Aaron Jones, Christian Darrisaw, Brian O'Neill, blah, 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 right? But it's easy to be impressed, right? And Darnold could still win the job to begin the gate, but I don't know if he hangs on to the gig the full season. And it has less to do with McCarthy than it does with him, where we said if Sam Darnold can't win here, he's not going to win anywhere, right? With everything that we just listed, that will benefit the quarterback. And if he struggles out of the gate, and the Vikings do have a bit of a Herculean a stretch of schedule right out of the gate, minus the Giants. I mean, there's going to be barbarians at the gates. Fans are going to be clamoring for McCarthy, especially if and when McCarthy continues on his hot start through training camp and preseason. But of course, there's a long ways to go. Another week of training camp, and then all of a sudden, joint practices is going to be in play. 3 preseason games. But honestly, if this momentum holds up, and if Darnold still continues to look inconsistent, they had a much better practice on Wednesday, but if he does, and McCarthy, again, more and more on his plate, and he's still looking good, got that moxie, got that attitude, the locker room loves him, he's badgering Jefferson and Flores and Kevin O'Connell every single second. How do you do this? How do I do that? How do I get better? Right? And it's going to be hard to keep him on the bench. And we've seen, like, C.J. Stroud probably had the best rookie season in NFL history for a rookie quarterback. And, he earned his gig. And why not JJ McCarthy? Because, I fully understand and commiserate. It's like, hey, there's plenty of examples where rookie quarterbacks get tossed in too soon. They get shelled. They lose their confidence, and they're completely ruined, and their potential is gone out the window, i.e. Sam Darnold, number 3 overall pick in 2018 with the Jets. But I feel like there's a little bit too much hand-wringing and pearl-clutching with McCarthy. He's like, kid gloves. At a certain point, you got to let him sling it. And too many people are concerned of asking the question, what if JJ McCarthy is bad? Come here. What if JJ McCarthy is really, really fucking good? Huh? Think about that good problem to have. Come on, baby. Let's go, man. Let's go. And again, this is not a case of, well, the kid's highly drafted, so just throw him out here. It's not like he's having a Drake May type camp where he's just absolutely abysmal and just want to throw him out there. No. Every single day, JJ McCarthy does something that says, hey, he could have it. So the future is bright either way, but I think the future might be now. I truly, truly do. And it's something that it's okay to be excited. All right. But your thoughts are thoughts. Could JJ McCarthy win this damn job? I actually think so. Let us know in the comment section below. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skol production value.